now. You also seem to, my sense is that you believe that because, as you allege, you did not have sight of this referral affidavit, that makes your position or your situation better. I take the view that it actually makes your position worse. How could you go ahead with an investigation without even check for yourself that there was a well-grounded referral? How could you do that? Bearing in mind, as you said when I engaged you earlier, that there may be instances where you may have to query the instruction that you should investigate. So your position actually gets worse if you go ahead with an investigation without having seen the referral affidavit. It doesn't get better. Do you agree with me?
I take what you say, Chair, and I understand what you say.
Do you agree with me?
I would agree with you, Chair.
And why would you not have insisted to see the referral affidavit here?
That's why I was continuing on what I was saying, Chair.
Yes.
But you mentioning it now, that, by not seeing the referral and the fact that I didn't see the referral, if there was something else there, that I actually put myself in a bad position.
So if all you have are conclusions manipulating promotional and security vetting processes, what is the manipulation? What form did it take? There's none of that, not on this. And it's on that basis that I say you have not answered Commissioner Khumalo's question. Because in attempting to answer it, you refer to this, and this is lacking on facts. There's no factual basis.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to explain it in the best I can. This affidavit, this Section 27 comes in, it's referred. And then a preliminary investigation starts. At all given time, this is still an allegation. So when the preliminary investigation starts, you only have this to go on, which, as Commissioner Khumalo says, but look, there's nothing really much here, manipulation.
What I say is, absent a reasonable factual basis, you should not even begin, because that's the basis for the Section 27 referral. You do not even begin. I think when I engaged you earlier, I said, you do not start, if the Section 27 jurisdictional facts are not satisfied, you cannot say, let us commence with an investigation. Who knows, maybe we'll come across something that will show that an offense covered by Section 7(1) capital A has in fact been committed. That's not how it works.
Senior Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, IDEC investigator Colonel Brian Padayachi has strongly denied allegations that he leaked confidential information from an ongoing investigation to Senior Crime Intelligence Officer Major General Feroz Khan, telling the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that the claims are completely without factual basis. Appearing before the commission on Tuesday, Padayachi rejected suggestions that he was part of an alleged alliance between Khan and IDEC officials, insisting that no such Khan-IDEC cabal exists within either the South African Police Service or the Anti-Corruption Directorate. His testimony comes as the Commission continues to investigate allegations of political interference, corruption, and abuse of power within SAPS and crime intelligence. Padayachi also addressed his long-standing professional relationship with Khan, making it clear that the senior officer he worked alongside during his years in crime intelligence bears little resemblance to the individual whose conduct has come under intense scrutiny before the Commission, and that the General Khan that I knew and worked with during that period is not the General Khan that I see being described before this Commission. Khan was unable to testify after he was seriously injured in what authorities believe was a suspected assassination attempt last month. In his absence, the commission has heard extensive evidence implicating him in an alleged scheme to remove former Crime Intelligence Inspector General Isaac Dintle from office. The alleged conspiracy is also said to involve Economic Freedom Fighters leader Julius Malema and suspected tobacco smuggler Mohammed Mossayed, claims that have attracted significant public attention. In addition to those allegations, the Commission has examined questions surrounding Khan's wealth. Evidence presented previously alleged that he purchased around 30 vehicles within a single year, owns a car parts business, reportedly generating approximately 3 million rand in annual income, and possesses a property portfolio valued at roughly 39 million rand. The portfolio is said to include luxury properties in George, Houghton, and Umhlanga. Despite the allegations surrounding Khan, Padayachi maintained that his own interactions with the senior officer were strictly professional. He explained that during their time in crime intelligence, Khan served as the national component head of counter and security intelligence and regularly chaired organized crime investigation projects before the National Evaluation Committee. According to Padayachi, their relationship never extended beyond official duties. Addressing allegations that he secretly shared investigative information with Khan, Padayachi categorically denied ever leaking a criminal docket or any confidential material. He criticized the accusations as lacking even the most basic details and said there is no information regarding who made the allegation, which docket was involved, when it was allegedly disclosed, where it happened, or how it supposedly took place. Padayachi further pointed out that he neither works with SAPS criminal dockets nor has access to them, making the allegations impossible to substantiate. He also dismissed claims that an organized faction involving Khan and IDEC officials exist within law enforcement, and said if such a cabal exists, I'm certainly not part of it. Another issue raised during his testimony related to criticism from KwaZulu-Natal Commissioner Lieutenant General Klamkwanazi, who previously questioned whether Padayachi possessed the qualifications and experience required for his senior position within IDEC. Padayachi firmly rejected those claims, outlining a policing career spanning more than 4 decades. He told the commission that he has accumulated 44 years of law enforcement experience and highlighted several milestones throughout his career, including graduating as the top student during a detective training course in 1998. He also said he received advanced investigative training in both France and the United States, adding that his professional record speaks for itself, and said the allegations that I was appointed to a senior position within IDEC without necessary skills, qualifications, or experience are completely baseless. They are empty and devoid of any factual foundation. Padayachi also used his appearance before the commission to reject suggestions that politicians or senior officials have interfered with investigations conducted by IDEC. He specifically referred to the investigation into the alleged irregular appointment of civilian Dineo Mokwele to the rank of brigadier within crime intelligence. That investigation ultimately resulted in the arrest of crime intelligence head Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo and 6 other senior SAPS officials in June last year. Khumalo has previously defended Mokwele's appointment before the commission, arguing that she was the best qualified candidate because of her background in mechatronics, which he said made her well suited to the specialized operational requirements of crime intelligence. However, Padayachi insisted that IDEC investigators perform their duties independently and not influenced by political pressure, and said I've never received any calls instructing me to influence an investigation, nor have I ever been subjected to undue pressure. He explained that criminal investigations handled by IDEC are ultimately prosecution-driven, with prosecutors making the final decisions regarding whether charges should be brought and what offenses should be prosecuted. According to Padayachi, investigators simply gather evidence while prosecutorial teams independently assess the strength of each case before deciding how to proceed. He described allegations of political interference as vague, unsupported, and lacking credible evidence, and said there are no facts demonstrating that I interfered in any investigation or prosecution. Padayachi further revealed that ITEC believes it has gathered sufficient evidence to support the criminal prosecution of Khumalo and the other senior crime intelligence officials currently facing charges. The matter remains before the Pretoria Magistrates Court, where legal proceedings are continuing. Concluding his testimony, Padayachi once again dismissed claims that ITEC's investigations into senior SAPS officials are driven by hidden political agendas. Instead, he maintained that the Directorate has acted within the law and that every investigation has been conducted based on evidence rather than political influence. His testimony adds another significant chapter to the Madlang Commission's ongoing inquiry into allegations of corruption, abuse of office, and internal conflict within South Africa's law enforcement agencies. As the Commission continues hearing evidence from senior police officials and investigators at the center of one of the country's most closely watched public inquiries. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.